Oh, yes. The road trip ends 2-2. The Oilers fall 3-2 to the Anaheim Ducks and lose the season series. The Anaheim pesky this year. You saw Louie and Jack telling you how much they've improved this year. Well, they can thank the Oilers for 6 of those points as they take the season series. Edmonton icing a preseason roster and almost getting the result against the Anaheim Ducks. Hey, everybody, welcome to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas with you inside the EST Global HQ on the city's west end. Shawn Belle will be joining us as our game analyst tonight in for Matt Cassian. Of course, GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. Turbochargers, injectors, fuel pumps, and sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Get into the conversation. Text us. The inbox, 780-218-9999. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button and get into the nasty chat. Edmonton falls to 44-28-5. Anaheim improves to 34-35-8. The Oilers have 5 games remaining this season. Nancito, you want to give me your thoughts right off the hop on this one?
Boy, do I ever.
Please do.
First of all, I thought a solid outing by Olivier Rodrigue.
Yeah.
I think if you look at the 3 goals, again, the Oilers didn't do him any favors. They didn't do him any favors. A breakaway and then a one-time shot from the slot, and then a defenseman gets walked all in alone. I'm going to give kudos to Olivier Rodrigue. I thought he made some solid saves, kept him in it. Good for the kid. I thought he was good. First period, loose by both teams, Tom.
Yep.
But again, it's just, I thought the Oilers generated more, obviously. You made a good point. Not a lot of traffic to the net, though. Like, Dostal saw a lot of the shots.
He did. He was good tonight, but he saw a lot of those shots. 2
post, for sure.
Late one, dying seconds.
But, I mean, if we're about what ifs, man, like, who cares? They hit the post and score. A lot of good performances. I saw some guys bounce back. Enrique was solid. Podkolden, Arvidsson, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins again. Solid. Evan Bouchard. Terrible defensively. Terrible. There's no other way to put it. And I'm not saying he's a terrible defenseman and trade him and don't sign him. I'm talking about tonight. He was terrible defensively. A pizza up the middle of the ice for the first goal. Gets walked.
On the second.
By Cutter Gauthier. Like, walked, Tom. And don't get me wrong. Sometimes you got to give credit to the forward. They make good moves. But just look at the effort. And then he got walked again. I can't remember who walked him.
On the third one?
No, it didn't go. It was a stop by Rodrigue.
Oh, stop by. Who was that? Terry.
Yeah. And just giving the puck away, like the lack of like intensity by this player, I think is driving not just me, but a lot of fans crazy, Tom, because he's brilliant offensively. He is. He makes great passes. He can turn a game. We all know that. We've seen it. He's got 50 damn assists. But defensively, man, he is not even close to what we saw in the playoffs last year, Tom. Not even close.
Fair statements.
Like, I thought he was bad tonight. I like the rough stuff. Who was worse, the refs or Bouchard? It's probably the refs, because the refs were awful tonight.
Can I say equally as bad? And you don't hear Louis tee off on the refs very often, but he was not having it today. And I don't disagree with him on a lot of it. The officiating is bad most nights.
And fair enough, Tom, like, they missed some blatant calls. The Oilers went 0 for 6. They got their chance.
Slash on Arvidsson, broken stick.
2 interference calls on Hyman that were blatant. The
forearm shiver or chicken wing to Corey Perry. I agree.
Like, but they still got 6 power plays. Didn't do much with them, Tom.
Correct.
So, all in all, I mean, you said it at the start, a very...
It's a preseason. We watched a preseason roster Oilers team out there.
Preseason roster. They were there. They competed. They threw a lot at the net. They were around it more than they were against LA. Now, I'll say this: Anaheim doesn't defend worth you know what.
Oh no, they coughed up the puck like crazy.
They don't defend. They're terrible at it.
Yeah.
But all in all, I mean, the rough stuff made it fun.
Yep.
Sure, and let's just hope that some of these big boys are back sooner rather than later, because They need some points here, Tom. And it's starting to look like they're going to start on the road. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. Okay. Who cares? Go out and win those games then.
Yeah.
No more excuses. You did it to yourself. You got hurt. Yep. Just go win. You saved yourself for the playoffs. All right. Go win.
I love Nurse trying to fight Gudas. I thought he was good. He made a couple of great passes that I was sitting beside you, obviously, and you were like, man, those were some solid passes.
Yep.
I thought Darnell was awesome tonight. Excellent. Being a leader, trying to fight Gudas for his boy Perry. That's what I like. And people are going to be like, the Oilers were soft. I don't think they were. Gudas didn't want to fight.
They tried. They tried. You are Latino Heat tonight. Very
just
good.
Hot, man. It's damn hot in this studio.
Yeah, it's a little toasty in the ESC at Global HQ. Actually, apparently the whole building.
Like 26 degrees in here right now.
Yeah, the crew at the Banya.
And poor Tom's got the lights on him, so it's probably 29 for Tommy right now.
It's okay. It mimics the sun. All right, let's get into the scoring summary. In the first period, Adam Henrique opened things up with the redirection goal, his 11th of the season from Wallman and Perry. 1-zip Oilers, 7:51 into the first. Into the second we go. Cutter Gauthier. Oh, great play by Leo Carlson, who took a gift from Evan Bouchard. Feeds Gauthier. He one-times it past Olivier Rodrigue at 2:20. We're even up at 1. Then at 7:10, Cutter Gauthier, his 17th of the season, second of the night, just casually prances by Evan Bouchard, unattested, unaccosted. Drew Hellison and Isaac Lundestrom, the assists, 2-1 Ducks. In the third, they would add to the lead. Mason McTavish, what's the thing at the junction? Malfunction at the junction. I don't know what Kasperi Kapanen was trying to do. He was the last man back. Tried to make a move. Bouchard tried to activate, as we say. Bad read. Bad play by Kapanen. That's why he's infuriating. That's why he is the clubhouse leader with a minus, 16 on the season in orange and blue? 15. Giveaway to McTavish. He goes in and buries past Olivier Rodrigue. Zegras the helper. 3-1. Jeff Skinner would make it interesting. He gets the redirection past Lucas Dostal. Look at that, Hernan. 3 or 4 guys stacked around the net.
Amazing.
So Dostal couldn't see it. Amazing. It worked. Skinner stays hot. 16th of the year from Bouchard. 50th assist. Henrique, second point of the night for Henrique. 12th assist of the season. 16:29 time of the goal. Bouchard would hit the post late. I know Arvidsson had one earlier in the period as well, but ultimately the Oilers fall 3-2 to the Anaheim Ducks. Shots on goal 48-21 in favor of Edmonton. Face-offs 56.3 to 43.8 in favor of Edmonton. Power play 0 for 6. That's no bueno. PK 2 for 2. You had to win. You heard Bellsy talking about the special teams battle. The Ducks have atrocious special teams. The power play 32nd, the PK 30th. And the Oilers did diddly squat with that outside of kill off an abbreviated Ducks power play. I think they said 11 seconds and then another one. So Edmonton no good with the man advantage, including an extended one after Ryan Strome went berserk. Hits 16-10 in favor of the Oilers. Block shots 16-12 in favor of the Ducks. Giveaways officially 14 for Edmonton, 12 for Anaheim. Takeaways 6 for the Oilers, 4 for the Ducks. But it is a 3-2 regulation loss. Let's go to Byron texting in. Says tough loss, 49 shots, no finish. They played well, just not a lot of talent out there. 3 goals in the last 7+ periods. They've got 2 players. It's so frustrating. Byron out of Winnipeg. Taco texting in says, I've been patient with this team ever since they've had the big injuries, but I find it extremely concerning that this team cannot produce offense without McDavid and Dry. I have zero confidence that this team goes back to the final. Taco. Big Uke says, this game has been a prime example of not getting enough traffic. So many Dostal saves where clean looks. He could just reach out and grab that. In addition to guys who simply can't finish right now is not a recipe for success. Keep those texts coming in. 780-218-9999. Hernan, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say Belzy's ready to go, but Kapanen only had 3 shifts in the third.
I wouldn't play him after that giveaway, would you? No.
But he's fast, Tom.
Yeah, sure. I said it last week. He looks good and skates fast and does nothing.
I'm trying to find some positives here for Kapanen.
That's nice.
He's in the
He
nasty
has good
chat
hair.
too. He said he gave a thumbs up despite the hate he's getting.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to get into the Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point, and then we're going to bring Bellsy in. You might not be walking Augusta, but at least make sure you can walk 18 holes pain-free. Book your assessment today at www.advantagesportsmed.ca or call 780-460-9977. The turning point of the game is going to be the third goal. Mason McTavish, the aforementioned Kasperi Kapanen with the giveaway close-ish to the blue line in the offensive zone, but not having the awareness or the support, gets stripped of the puck. Zegras sends McTavish in. He walks in all alone and beats Ollie Rodrigue for the 3-1 lead at that point. The Oilers would cut it in half. However, that stands up as the game-winning goal. That is the Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game as we welcome in our game analyst, Shawn Belle, for the breakdown, brought to you by South Fort Chev. Buy now and save 0% financing, OAC up to 72 months, or save up to $8,000 on 2025 Silverado 1500s. It's also time for your seasonal tire change service. Mention that EST sent you and receive an on-rim tire change for $59.95 plus tax. And they're also giving a big discount on inspections when you get your tires changed. See dealer for details, www.southfortchev.com. Drive a little, save a lot at South Fort Chev. Bellsy, should any players be driving home from Anaheim tonight? I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, that pizza that Kasperi Kapanen gave up was crushing. Like,
Deep
you look at that play, and it was a deep dish DiGiorno pizza or hot and ready, depending what you like. But
nice.
he could have moved the puck earlier. Bouchard, I think, activated appropriately, like he was supposed to, because if you would have got a pass early, it would have been a grade A opportunity. But it was perplexing that goal there. But for the most part, I would say that the Oilers played a fairly decent game. They did not get to the net for sure enough. And that was really the difference of the game, because they put up a ton of shots. So you got to take away the eyes, and every single time they shot the puck, Dustall was literally sitting there, and it was just, okay, pick that off, pick this one off, and there's no second chances, there's no rebounds.
There are those who are frustrated tonight, and deservedly so, rightly so, I will say. There are some that are, I've had some people just text me in particular tonight, like just raging, which is not out of the ordinary, because, unless this team's winning, they're not happy. But how upset is it fair to be tonight? And I called this a preseason roster that the Oilers iced, essentially.
Well, yeah, you call it a preseason roster, but the reality is they had enough horses in that lineup to be able to beat the Anaheim Ducks. Like, people talk about different things, and one of the things is like making sure that you're ready to go for the playoffs. And other people are like, well, the Oilers they're experienced team, and they're just going to be able to flick a switch. Well, like, honestly, I haven't seen the switch get flicked yet. So to me, like, there's got to be a situation where you're starting to play some playoff hockey, and so I think the frustration from fans is appropriate, because what are we seeing? Like, just because the big boys are out doesn't mean that they can't go to the net, doesn't mean that they can't execute on plays. Like, the first period was sloppy. It got better as it went on, and once again, I'm not saying that they played a terrible game, but there's things that you have to do to be successful in the playoffs. And as we're getting closer, I think they have 5 games remaining, you need to be able to see some of those things pop up in the game. And yes, they were physical. Yes, they backed up Perry. There were some things that you saw, but you go look back at the games that you played against Florida and Vancouver and LA, like, it was traffic at the net, be there, take punishment, rebounds, goals. And you're just not seeing that. And I think that's frustrating.
Belzy, Olivier Rodrigue, a pretty good night. I mean, he didn't get help on the 3 goals. Like you said, there's a pizza by Bouchard, a pizza by Cap. Both those guys should go up to him after the game and apologize because that was just terrible play. He makes 18 stops. What did you make of Olivier Rodrigue's debut?
I thought he was fine. I thought he was calm in the net. I didn't think he was. Sometimes goaltenders get a little bit too excited and they're pushing past where they need to be. But he was calm. He was composed in the net. The goals that were scored on him, like, it is what it is. Those are things that you, like what we talked about, like you hope that they don't do those things to the goaltenders to kind of leave them out on an island. And, that the goal that we talked about with Kapanen, well, that's an island type situation. Don't turn over that puck there. And then obviously the Bouchard one where he gets walked, like, come on, like it's, you got to show a little bit more gumption than that. I'm sorry.
Because he knows it's going to be one-on-one, Belzy, at center.
Yeah.
And he's at the, like this, he didn't get caught off guard.
No, but he has a tendency to stop moving his feet.
Yeah.
And he gets in trouble that way because he's waiting and watching, and he's allowing the player to kind of dictate what's going to happen, as opposed to him just instantly moving his feet and then, allowing and moving him or the opposing player to where he wants him to go. But he sits there and he waits and watches his feet stop moving, and it's not like he's fleet of foot to begin with. And then all of a sudden now you're a sitting duck.
I was going to say, I'm not even going to bring up the next contract because that was something else.
Oh, boy.
People were texting me personally. They're, no way, does he get this much? No way. You got to be kidding me. And then literally 2 minutes later, he fires one from the point, gets redirected home. 50th assist of the season. And it's like,
let's save that for the offseason.
Let's save that for the offseason.
Are you sure you don't want to just spice this whole thing up right away?
Well, the Latino, it's already, it's a good thing you're not here right now because the HVAC is not working. And we need the HVAC crew coming in here. It's about 26 degrees in here.
Mm-hmm.
And the Latino heat just cranked it up to about 29 with his anger and frustration. So, no, let's leave it at that. Okay, 2-2 on this road trip. They get that big win against Vegas. Obviously, lose Draisaitl. No McDavid on this trip. They get 7 minutes out of Trent Frederick. And now he's going to be on the shelf till the playoffs. How do you assess it? Is it okay? Is there concern? Do you go, you know what, they'll be okay once guys start coming back? Like, Belzy, overall, how do you look at the trip?
There were some encouraging pieces to it. I think the Oilers would say they're disappointed with it as well. I mean, I feel like this is a game that you've got to get those 2 points. And, LA lost tonight and you would have been 2 points back. And, you could have been fighting for a bit of home ice there. So I think for them, it would be a disappointment. And for me, it's a little bit of a disappointment as well. But, it's whether you win or lose, like you want to show a little bit more than what you had. Okay. You got the game today. Yeah. They put up a lot of shots. Yeah, it was a solid effort from a lot of the players. There was guys that bounced back well. But, if you look at as a whole, the whole trip, well, did you score enough goals? Did you defend hard enough? Were you physical enough? Were you a playoff team?
I'll give them
and
physical.
Those are the things that fair. Like they were physical, but
sure.
I mean, in terms of, just grinding in the appropriate times and being at the net and being a pest. And when Frederick was in the lineup, well, he was a pest in front of that. He drew tons of attention. And so, when you look at the guys that are out of the lineup, and obviously you have 2 of the best players in the world, but you also got 2 guys in Frederick and Kane that go to the net hard. They play with some gumption. They play big boy hockey. And you look at 4 players potentially up front returning to your roster. Well, that's a different makeup. Like, you don't have some of the soft skill that the Oilers currently have. Like, I don't personally see a world where Kapanen is now in the playoffs on a playoff roster.
No.
So you move some of that out, and then you have, a little bit more sandpaper in your lineup, and I think that it changes the complexion of your team.
Okay, I want to get to this, boys, because a lot of people are talking about it on the X machine. Jeff Skinner, 1542 tonight, scored a goal. He's been really good since the big boys have been out.
Yep.
Okay, so we're assuming Max Jones, Kasperi Kapanen are going to be the two guys out when Leon and Connor return. Then you're going to have one of Frederick or Kane back. That's someone else has to sit out. At least for me right now, guys, I know it's probably going to be Jeff Skinner, but for me, it wouldn't be Jeff Skinner. It's because he's not taking Podkolzin or Connor Brown out.
Yeah, nope. I mean,
and it's unfair because I think Jeff he's worked his way back into this lineup. He's doing things that he probably didn't do in Buffalo a lot, was back check, defend, be responsible, hone in on the details. He's doing everything and he's producing, guys. How can you sit that player out?
Well, the problem is that when you get the big boys back and you give them 2 minutes on the power play, what does Skinner become? Because he's not killing. They haven't used him on the kill all year. So then you become a 5-on-5 guy. And 5-on-5 guys, especially in the playoffs, that's not a good situation to be in because you want to be, playing on the power play. You want to be playing on the penalty kill. And for a guy like Skinner who needs those extra minutes, he needs those offensive minutes with the power play. Like that's his bread and butter. That's where he produces. But hey, as good as he's been lately, who are you going to take off that first unit? That's the problem.
No, and then but 5-on-5, like even now, guys, which is kind of funny, he's playing with Janmark and Brown. Yeah. Like he's not even in the top 6 now.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's a big
problem.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think he's been playing well and he's been producing and that's why they brought him here is to produce. But at the end of the day, once you get the big boys back, like he just instantly becomes a 5-on-5 guy and it's hard. What are you going to get? 12, 13 minutes max?
Yeah, and it's not going to be Janmark because he was out there again with 2 minutes left to tie it up.
So. That's the guy you want out there. The guy who hasn't shot one past the goalie this season. By the way, Jeff Skinner, 16 goals, 12 assists, 28 points in 67 games now, -1. Kapanen on the season is -19 going into the game. And I believe a good chunk of that was in St. Louis. He was -14, I think, after that giveaway with the Oilers. So, keep rolling him out there. He's doing great. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right, 780-218-9999. Tom Gazzola, Shawn, Belle, Hernan, Salas with you. The Oilers fall 3-2 to the Anaheim Ducks, 2-2 on this road trip. Return home to take on the St. Louis Blues, who are without Dylan Holloway on Wednesday night. And guess what? It's another late one. 8 o'clock is the start time, quote unquote. And you heard Jack say 8:22 official puck drop. So buckle up, baby. It's going to be a lot of that.
Madness.
Yeah, I know. Big Dave texting in says, a less than desirable result tonight. When you look at the game stats, everything screams that the Oils should have walked away with the W tonight, but they didn't because they still can't finish. Dostal was really good, but the Ducks were horrible with the puck at either end of the ice, and even with the big guys out, this game shouldn't have been this close. Hyman, Bouchard, Nuge, Nurse, Arvidsson, Skinner should all have better finish than they show us. I thought Rodrigue was fine tonight. If the kid hadn't got left out to dry on a few chances, it would be a different night. Yes. Well said.
The only thing I would add to that is if they went to the net with urgency like they did in the third period, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation today.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I did think they played pretty well, but they just did not get to the net. And basically every shot that they had turned into a Corsi shot. Awesome. Analytics. Woo!
They're great. KCF texting in. KCF and I have had our disagreements over this year and years prior. I agree wholeheartedly with this text. 49 shots on goal, 6 high danger chances. Don't be fooled. The Oilers were not goalied. And I agree.
I agree too.
A lot of those were clear ones that Dostal could snag, hold on to. It was only when they got chaos in front of them, which wasn't often, that it looked like they might have a chance to sneak one by them. So, KCF, I'm with you on that one, my friend. Taxman texting and says, boys, it blows my mind how tone deaf the officials are in this league sometimes. I'm not blaming them for the loss. Oil had plenty of power play opportunities, but the fact they let a team that's completely out of the race with a known dirtbag run around is a joke. I'm not even upset that no one fought Gudas. Podkolzin gets hurt, then if you fight, you're down to 9 forwards potentially. Other thoughts. Bouchard regression needs to be studied by professionals. Arvidsson's still playing well. Russian machine never breaks, and I'm hoping we're doing the Tampa Bay thing where we don't care about the regular season and rest for the playoffs is all that matters. That's from Taxman. The officials thing, Belzy, I know we don't like to go down that path, but you heard Big Lou Dog was talking about it. They did let this game get chippy and a bit stupid at times. And I'm not going to lie to you, I was entertained by it, but the way they officiated this one, if you have a thought on that and what Louis had to say as well, because he kind of shared his disagreement, and he doesn't usually do that either.
Yeah, I just thought that they let some stuff slide that they normally don't. And then that's where frustration comes in. I mean, you look at the Corey Perry hit where he gets hit high. Now, in the ref's defense, he was trying to get out of the way of the puck coming towards him. So the close ref didn't see it. Mm-hmm. He was looking at the puck. Now, I don't know what the back ref had, because, you should be seeing and studying that area, and the back ref should have probably had something there. Maybe he had his head down too. I don't understand that. But, there's the forearm shiver in the back on Perry as well. There's other plays where you just, you scratch your head and you say, well, what did you see there, man? Because I don't understand it. And they lost control of the game, because at some point the players will police themselves if you don't want to make the right calls, and you should make the right calls. So if a guy gets elbowed in the head, generally speaking, call it. And you probably wouldn't have any complaints and any arguments from the players. And so, I'm surprised more didn't happen in that game.
Yeah. Like this text out of Saskatchewan tonight, I was praying someone would cross-check Gudas in the face. Would have been well worth the penalty, from Jordan. First text ever. Jordan, welcome to the program. We appreciate that. Now, Adam Henrique ripped Gudas's helmet off on a power play in a post-whistle scrum, and that nullified the power play. You just can't do that anymore. You can't knock a guy's helmet off, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can't do some of the things that you want. I thought there was an appropriate amount of response. They didn't take it, I guess, is the best way to describe that. Mm-hmm. They were pushing back. They were taking some runs at guys. They kind of handled their business. Now, would you like to see the fight? Maybe. I don't know. But
I'll be honest, I think that just for the heck of it.
Yeah, fair. But I do think Nurse went over and addressed it. I think Natso, you said it earlier, he didn't want to fight, so you can't really drag a guy to fight. But I do think the Oilers went and addressed it, and they made sure that it was well known that they're not going to take that. And I think that was the appropriate response in this particular game, because you weren't going to force him to fight. The only difference you could have had, I guess, was just go after some of their skilled players and make their life miserable. But that's a whole nother conversation. So, it is what it is from that respect.
I'll just say one thing on that thought, going after their skilled players. I feel like some of or all of Anaheim's skilled players, maybe not Zegras and Troy Terry, but McTavish and Gauthier, Carlson, because he's big, probably aren't scared of any of the Oilers guys.
Nurse is a pretty imposing guy.
But
the thing is that
Gudas
you don't
jumps
want
in
him
on
fighting.
any one of the Oilers tough guys, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. He does nullify him, but you don't want Nurse fighting, especially with Ekholm out, because now he's so valuable. And when you saw he was out of the lineup, you're like, oh man, there's a hole in this defense. So you don't really want him fighting. But at the same time, Corey Perry's done the lion's share of the heavy lifting when it comes to the pugilistic arts.
True. And it's not his thing.
And it's not his thing. And I think that it was nice to just see them try to back him up. And once again, you're not going to drag his gloves off if he doesn't want to fight. So it is what it is. And I think that they handled it appropriately.
That's a good point. All right, Belzy, I like it. One last one before we go into the Oilers locker room. Andrew, the accountant, texting in 780-218-9999. Honestly, says Andrew, the accountant, I didn't hate the Oilers' effort tonight, except for Bouchard's, in parentheses. Why is Jeff Skinner not on the ice during the second 6-on-5 when he scores the second goal? I don't know what Knoblauch's problem is with him. He can't just... I would answer Andrew the accountant with this. It just seems like he's not their type of guy. He's not going to win them over. He is a reluctant choice whenever they throw him out there, and he happens to get points.
It's April 7th. Like, this is not going to get better.
Yeah.
And I mean, did you remember or recall any situations like that where no matter what the guy did, he just couldn't win over the coaching staff? Did you have teammates like that? Were you ever that guy, Bellsy?
Yeah, for my boy Kevin Constantine. I mean, I played a terrible first 10 games under him, and it didn't really matter what I did after that, even though I was like playing pretty good hockey. That would have been one of those situations where just doghouse for whatever odd reason.
Yeah, that's kind of where Jeff Skinner finds himself.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go inside the Oilers locker room. Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. If you're watching on YouTube, get into the nasty chat. Edmonton falls 3-2 to the Anaheim Ducks and returns home with a 2-2 record on this 4-game road trip. Hernan, who will we hear from first?
Let's go with Coach Knoblauch. Here he is.
Right to the very end, hit a post, which is in the dying seconds here. Do you guys feel like you maybe deserved a better fate here today?
I thought we played a pretty good game. Some mistakes to give them their goals off the rush. But overall, the effort from the guys just couldn't, for the amount of opportunities we had, the amount of chances, certainly deserved to have more than 2 goals. 5-on-5 offensive play, I thought was really strong.
Did you feel the limitations of your bench going 11-6, especially in the later stages of this one?
Sometimes it's easier for the players, shorthanded, to play more, and they're in the game a lot more. Certainly, there's certain situations where we could have had another guy on the bench for whether it was a face-off or, tonight on the penalty kill. Often a penalty killer was in the box, so we had to go with 5 there. But it's nice having the 12. But I thought everyone stepped up and played really well up front.
I know you're missing a lot of key bodies. Did it feel out of sync, especially on the power play with 6 opportunities?
Well, like I said, I thought 5-on-5 we did about as much as we could have done. It's creating chances, a lot of quality chances there. But and the power play wasn't as sharp as it usually is. And obviously when you're taking the guys out that are usually controlling that power play, it's going to make a big difference.
How about these Anaheim Ducks? I mean, they won 3 of 4 against you guys this year. What is it about the style that they play that seems to give you guys a little bit more of a challenge?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they've got a good team. They've and also good goaltending. They've got solid goaltending all season, and anytime that happens, you've got a chance every night.
What do you think of Olivier Rodrigue?
That's good, especially in the first period. He didn't have much, quality chances in the second and third, but definitely in the first there were some chances that we needed him, and he stepped up. We're very happy with his game tonight.
And how do you assess this overall road trip going 2-2?
If we're 3-1 after a road trip like that, we're very happy. 2-2 after starting 2-0, we're disappointed. But tonight's game. I feel like it was one that we probably should have won. There's games, obviously, that we win that we should have lost, but tonight the effort was there, and, I thought we deserved a better fate.
All right, that was head coach Chris Knoblauch on his team's 3-2 loss. I don't really disagree with a lot of what he said tonight. What would you say, Bellsy, to that?
Yeah, I mean, he kind of touched on all the points that we've talked about already. Did they deserve a better fate? Maybe, but you still got to get to that hard. And yeah, they weren't happy with the result at the end of the day because they finished 2-2, but they should have been 3-1 and 2 points back of LA, right? So I think you can pretend like you're happy, but I don't think you're really happy because you fell short of where you needed to be.
Bellsy touched on being short handed when it comes to just guys dressed. They had 17 skaters. Give us a sense of what that's like when you're down a body to start the game, and then obviously the bench gets shortened. Guys had to go off because of injuries. They came back, fortunately. One of them was Perry, another one was Podkolzin. Tell us what that scenario is like as a player at the highest level.
Well, it throws you off for sure. I mean, when you all of a sudden you have 5 defensemen, you're playing extra minutes, but you've got to just change the way that you play a little bit so that you can either conserve energy, make shorter shifts so that you can be a little bit more fresh. I mean, but at the end of the day, like they know how to handle it. So I don't know if it's that big of a difference. Like fourth line guys get 7 to 10 minutes. So now all of a sudden that fourth line guy is probably playing 11 minutes. So it's not quite as bad as, where they were as you think. If now they're sitting at 15 guys, well, now we'll probably have a different conversation because now you're just gassed by the end of the game. But I thought they did well with the shorthanded roster. Guys were kind of in and out, obviously taking the penalties. Different players were getting into different spots was something that he mentioned because penalty killers were in the box. It was, the game was fine. I think that's the best way to describe that.
Okay.
Yeah, and
go ahead, Hernan.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, like Podkolzin, he blocked Bouchard hit him with the shot, and then he kind of bent his knee pretty awkwardly there. We thought he was done for the night. He came back solid. But again, Tom, I said it in the pregame. I put this on management. Like, there's no reason this Edmonton Oilers team should be playing shorthanded at any point in the season. Like, and Tom, this isn't the first time it's happened in the last 3 years with this team. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's cap management.
Yeah, like, imagine Podkolzin doesn't come back. Perry doesn't come back. You're playing with 9 guys, and then you wonder why everybody's hurt? Like, seriously. Yep. Like, I can't believe they were playing shorthanded tonight.
Well, you know who's kicking around in Edmonton? Derek Ryan.
Oh boy.
I'm just going to leave that there. Let's get to a different Jordan who texts this one in. Bellsy, we got a couple more minutes and then we'll let you go because I know you got to be up early in the morning. Other Jordan texts in and says, Knoblauch's offensive game plan has been terrible without 97 and 29. All the forwards do is just keep passing the puck to the point for a shot instead of taking it to the net. Tonight, the defense had nearly 50% of the shots on net. Have you noticed any change to the offensive game plan, regardless of McDavid and Draisaitl being in the lineup?
They still have the same amount of movement, but they don't have the crispness of the passes. They don't have the same activation or playmaking ability because you've lost the 2 best players in the world. You're going low to high and you're getting it to the defenseman because you're trying to stretch out their defensive zone coverage so that as you can roll players underneath their high coverage, now you're finding seams. That's essentially what they're trying to do. And unfortunately, it's just teams weren't biting on it. And they, Anaheim played a solid game. They played a patient game in the D zone. They weren't running out of place. They weren't doing anything like that. And so I think it was hard for the Oilers to generate offense. But I mean, they still got pucks to the net. There was still stuff there. It's now you just got to. Yeah, they owned the possession time. So the offensive system was still there. Now, whether they capitalized and executed appropriately is a whole nother conversation. Yep. But they're trying to create movement in the offensive zone. They're trying to get guys to run out of positions. They're trying to hit seams. They're trying to get underneath players. Excuse me. And that's what they're trying to do. But when you have the 2 best players in the world, and obviously they make it look really easy. I think we've been just kind of spoiled in Edmonton because those 2 guys have the ability to make unbelievable play every single night.
All right, Bellsy, final thoughts from you heading into this game against St. Louis, and then they wrap up a brief 2-game homestand against the San Jose Sharks on Friday. Pardon me. And then they hit the road for 1 game in Winnipeg, come home for 1 against LA the next night, and then close things out on next Wednesday against the Sharks at the Shark Tank. So if you're the Oilers, you might be getting some healthy bodies back maybe by Wednesday, but how are you gearing up for these last 5 games?
Well, I'm hoping that they get some healthy bodies back because I think they need to see what their full lineup is so that they can be ready for playoffs. I'm looking forward to the Blues game because, like we talked about before, Tommy, storylines galore. Obviously, we talk about Broberg and Holloway and the years that they're happening, but the Blues have been playing unbelievable hockey. Are they tied in points right now? Both with 93?
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously that's a big piece as well. There's lots of storylines, and I think the Oilers got to make sure they're ready to go because if they don't come out, like the Blues are going to kick the doors off you because they are a good hockey team and they are playing with a ton of confidence. So, watch your film, do what you need to do, get rested up, but you got to be ready to go against the Blues.
Blues had their winning streak snapped by the Winnipeg Jets tonight, 3-1, and they'll look to start another mini winning streak. They have 3 games remaining when they take on the Oilers on Wednesday. The Oil would love nothing more than a win on home ice. Bellsy, great job tonight as always, my friend. Look forward to seeing you on. Are you on the Hangout on Wednesday?
I am.
We'll see you on Wednesday, big boy.
Beautiful. See you, boys.
There's our game. Yes. Stay nasty, says. There's our game analyst, Shawn Belle, helping us break everything down. The breakdown brought to you by South Fort Chev. Hernan, Salas, do you want to get to the player of the game?
Sure.
Yeah, I want to do that. I know we'll go back inside the Oilers locker room, but I figure we'll get the player of the game taken care of as well. Player of the game, as always, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Hernan Salas.
Yeah, this one's pretty easy. He's got to go to the opposing team again. Lucas Dostal, 45 saves, 957 save percent. Now, I wanted to get into this. I'm glad we're doing this right now. Okay. I don't think the Oilers got goalied.
No, I don't. I don't think they did.
Like, I'm being honest. I know you're going to look at 45 saves and say, like, wow. But how many of those saves were like, oh, wow, like, man, he
shots from over 40 feet out with nobody in front.
Yeah, a lot of them, he
probably
was just,
25.
Grabbing them with the catcher and all that. So, but still, he made 45 saves. He did make a couple big saves. He was pretty good on the night. I mean, 957 save percentage. He held the fort. He's got to be the Damon Bunting player of the game for the agency. That is Lucas Dostal. But I just want to add, because I know people, so there's a text here, Tom, from, where'd it go? Damn it.
You tell me.
I lost it. Oh, wait.
Did you find it?
Oh, no. Greg, the sound guy.
Okay.
He says, so they got goalied again. How many times is that excuse going to get rolled out? But
we didn't use it tonight. I
don't think we've used it. Did maybe Knoblauch say, we deserve better? I mean, sure. Okay. But again, you look at the box score and you'll be like, they got goalie, but I don't think that was the case tonight. I don't. I think the Oilers were better in the offensive zone. I think they worked their butts off, but I don't think they were goalied, Tom. And I want to hear from the Nasties. Do you think they got goalied? I don't.
Lots of shot volume, but not a lot of quality shots.
Yeah. So for me, it's, interesting. Interesting take.
Okay. I have a couple of texts I have saved that I think we're going to get to after we hear from our next player inside the locker room. Hernan, who do we have queued up here?
We'll go with Doc, who had a solid game for me. Darnell Nurse, here he is, post-game.
Shots, you guys are fighting right till the very end. Hit a post in the last few seconds there. Do you guys feel like you maybe deserved a better fate?
Yeah, I think, we had lots of opportunities to put the puck in the back of the net. We didn't find a way to do it, and that's part of the game. We got to find a way to capitalize on the chance that we have, and we didn't do that enough tonight.
What is it about this Anaheim Ducks squad that seems to give you guys a challenge?
It's the NHL. Every team's good, so they got a lot of skill, and they play hard.
The good thing, not the good thing, one of the things about having some of your stars out of the lineup is everyone's getting a lot of chances, everyone's getting a lot of touches, but the other thing is you still miss their goal scoring. Like a lot of guys getting the touches don't score at the frequency that McDavid and Draisaitl score at. Is that a fair assessment of your team? Good effort, but not enough finish.
Yeah, I mean, that's it's hard slack to pick up. Those two guys that are usually leading the goal scoring race in the league, or points race in the league. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of opportunity. I think tonight you generate the amount of chances that we generate. I think on most nights guys are finding ways to put a few more in, but yeah, with us we were definitely missing that finish tonight.
What about Radko Gudas starting all that stuff tonight, and what effect did that have in the game, did you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought guys dug in and tried to get physical, and yeah, that's this game. Sometimes things happen out there. People can choose to answer or not, and I thought our response was pretty good.
What did you think of Ollie Rodrigue?
He was great. He made some huge saves, especially down the stretch there, keep us in that game, and he was real solid for us back there.
There you go. There's Darnell Nurse talking about his team's 3-2 loss to the Anaheim Ducks. Nurse tonight, if you're taking a look at his stat line, wound up playing 22-40 plus 1, 5 shots, 1 block shot, 1 giveaway, and no complaints from him. I think he was one of the guys that was asking Radko Gudas to answer. Mm-hmm. And Radko Gudas politely declined, perhaps. Maybe with some choice words as well. All right, keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat as well. Here's one from Tony. Hernan, be ready for this one.
Okay.
Tony says, so question, just because the Oilers don't have McDavid, Draisaitl, Ekholm, Skinner, Frederick, Klingberg, Kane, whole season is a reason to lose this? I thought that depth, I'm reading this verbatim, by the way.
Okay.
This, I thought what you depth was for was to step up and do something. Why should we have excuses for guys who want to win? All right, after we deciphered that code.
Okay.
I think the gist of it is, why are we making excuses for the guys?
Well, he's saying they brought in all this depth for times like this.
Yeah.
And where is that depth? Listen, and Tony, I agree, up until March, a lot of down years for a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
And that hasn't changed much. Now, in the absence of the two big dogs and mostly Connor McDavid and Matthias Ekholm, I think a lot of guys have stepped up. I think Jeff Skinner stepped up.
Arvidsson had a goal scoring. Hit the bar again today.
But Colton doesn't produce, but his effort's there, sure. But you want more production.
Henrique scored tonight.
Yeah. You need more production from certain guys. Connor Brown needs to score more. But Corey Perry's been good all year. Kapanen, we're not even going to go there. But I do think a handful of guys have stepped up. I think Stetcher's been pretty solid.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Wallman's been okay. Yeah. Tony's text started by listing off 7 guys.
Yeah, it's crazy. And key guys. Well, for the most part.
Well, your 2 best players, your best defenseman, your number 1 goalie, your new guy that's a bruising body that can add some jam offensively in Frederick, a washed-up defenseman in Klingberg, and then Evander Kane, who's been out all year.
Who could be the wild card.
Wild card's good. It's hard to not play for a full year and then come in off the couch, as he said in his press conference in January, and have an impact. But there are guys that I would look at who played the entire season, and I would look at Evander Kane beside them and go, I'd probably rather have Evander Kane in the lineup still. That's just me, though. Ron Renault says, the officials should be fired. This was the worst officiated game I've seen. Terrible. Bush League.
It was bad.
Gudas is a thug. Why did no player go after him? And Ron, they kind of tried. They invited him cordially to a duel, a.k.a. fight. I think Darnell Nurse was one of those guys, and he declined. And then, Ron, I'll get to your last text in a few minutes at the end of the show. Darnell Nurse says, Brandon is the king of cliche answers. Also, I would have rather seen him at the end trying to tie rather than Wallman, who seemed to be bobbling the puck a lot. Wallman did have struggles with the puck. I noticed that too, Brendan Goodeye. Brendan also added, I thought Jack Michaels was going to have an aneurysm at the end of the game. What a legend. Yes, he knows how to sell it. He's very good at that.
Oh, yeah.
He knows how to sell it.
I got one here from Bad Andy.
Oh, Greg, the sound guy, wanted us to read the rest of his text.
Oh, okay.
I have it here.
Okay.
He said, so they got goalied again. How many times is that excuse going to get rolled out? I felt they spit the bit at 2-zip. Sure, there was some talk to Gudis, but to quote the legendary Canadian punk rock band, talk action equals 0. That was a terrible first period. I felt there were moments in the game for the team to blow off steam, but nah, the officials tonight even rolled out the carpet for such. What do I know? I don't know. Greg, I enjoy your banter and input to the show. They weren't down 2-zip, though.
No. They're actually leading.
1-zip and then 3 unanswered. But maybe he meant when they went down 2 goals.
But
First period was super sloppy. You're right, Greg.
if Gudis doesn't want to go, and I get going after Cutter Gauthier or Trevor Zegras or Troy Terry, but the Gudis little chicken wing there, it was on Corey Perry. It wasn't on the Oilers star player. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's the principle of it.
Yeah, of course. But
that was a BS play.
Yeah, and then you saw after by the net, Corey gave him a little spear, and then he gave him a nice punch to the back, which again the refs didn't call.
Mm-hmm.
So there was some pushback. Podkolzin laid into him right after too. So they were going at him, but again, like Belsey said, if the guy doesn't want to fight, you can't force him to. Yeah, and you're not going to jump. And the other thing Belsey said that I agree with, I didn't want Darnell Nurse taking that fight, especially with the way Bouchard's playing defensively.
Yeah.
Ekholm's problems. I mean, Darnell Nurse is the last guy you need injured right now. And to take on a fight this late in the season for what? Listen, I get it and stand up. To me, he proved he was willing to go, and that's enough right now. But you need Darnell Nurse healthy. Tom, you don't agree with me. I can tell by your face.
No, I have a thought that I'd like to share.
Oh, okay.
Though, in regard to this. If someone were to suggest, yeah, well, you should have called up Josh Brown.
Oh, boy.
You know what I would tell you? Josh Brown just rejoined the Condors after being away for a month and has not skated at all. I gave a Condors update. Someone was like, oh, what are you speculating about? I'm like, no, there's no speculation. This is multiple people within the organization telling me what's going on. So if you're again wondering what the hell happened down in Bakersfield, Derek Ryan did not report after being sent down. He stayed up here in Edmonton. That's an agreement that the team and him had where they said, all right, Derek, you can stay here. Travis Dermott, finally, after being reclaimed by the Oilers, finally got down to Bakersfield. Took warm-up on Wednesday, did not play, did not travel with the team on its road trip. Did not play the last game either. He's not with the team on the road trip. Josh Brown, also away from the team for a month. Just returned to it, has not skated in a month, like Travis Dermott. And then there's a whole bunch of injuries. Seth Griffith just got injured. I'm hearing it's an MCL. Clattenburg, the kid that you heard Bob talk about in the intermission, had a concussion last night. So they've been leaning on Kajula, Hamblin, Kemp, Deneen. Heavy minutes. Peterson's been injured all year. Yarventi isn't even close to being ready. He had to have a procedure done in January. That knee's been an issue. And that's the other thing I brought up earlier in the day, Hernan, was this management team keeps bringing in injured assets. Who aren't even assets if they can't even do anything for you.
And this whole Josh Brown thing, like whoever's asking for that, let me tell you something. Gudis ain't fighting him either.
You're probably right.
So unless you want him to go jump him, and Chief Andy says, wow, Hernan, to say a player isn't as important as a star player, that's not good, bro. No, like you're missing the point here. The point is some fans were saying Darnell and Corey Perry should have went after their star players, but I'm saying it was Gudis on Perry, two boys that can take care of themselves. Darnell Nurse stepped in there. Gudis did not want to go with him. Now, he took some shots from Perry, took some shots from Podkolzin in the game that were physical hits. And to me, I was fine with that because the last thing I want is Darnell Nurse fighting. Now, if that's Gudis on Connor McDavid, that's got to be right away, Tom. All four other guys on the ice got to jump Gudis.
Right.
That's the difference. And then if After all that melee, then go after Troy Terry or whoever the star players are in Anaheim.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying it's not important. I'm saying the Oilers addressed it, but it takes two to tango. And I still think they were really aggressive and they were giving it to Gudas every chance they got during the game, which is fine with me.
Runner texting in says, this is playing down to a team. Classic Oilers move. And I'm not going to disagree with Runner. I'm just going to remind everyone that was essentially a preseason roster that the Oilers iced tonight.
Edmonton was the better team, Tom.
Yep.
The difference is Edmonton made 3 blunders and gift wrapped them 3 goals.
Yes, they did.
That's the difference, guys.
They certainly
The Oilers weren't goalied. The Oilers weren't outplayed. Just one of those games where they couldn't finish. They had 2 posts. The Arvidsson one was beauty, buddy. That's the best post I've seen.
He's playing good. Small silver lining tonight. All right. Let's get to this one from Ron Renault. This is the one I said we'd save. Your thoughts on Greg Millen passing away? I'm deeply saddened. Yeah. I didn't know Greg Millen personally. Just would say hi if I saw him, if he was working an Oilers game by chance. Obviously, a guy that's been in the broadcast booth for decades. And a very distinct voice, the voice of many Saturday nights across this country, the late game especially. By all accounts, just a great guy, a good family man. Played a while in the NHL for a few different teams. Super sad. Sudden passing, unexpected. I feel for his family, and I feel for the entire Sportsnet / Hockey Night Canada crew. Just absolutely terrible news today. Heartfelt condolences from all of us, myself included, here at ESD to the Millen family and the Sportsnet crew and Hockey Night crew, because that he died too young.
Yeah, it's very sad when I saw that come down the good old X machine there. Growing up, a little bit older than you, Tom, I remember him playing. He had the big pads. I remember that's what really stood out.
Small helmet.
Yeah. And St. Louis Blues. That's my first memory of Greg Millen. So, condolences to his family and friends. Very sad. And I enjoyed him as an analyst. I mean, he goes back a long ways, Tom. I've been listening to him for years. So, lost a good one today.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, sad. So, yeah, that's... Thanks for bringing that up, Ron. Just good to acknowledge and to pass along our best to the family and extended family, especially those who worked with him, and obviously the immediate family. So awful news today. The passing of Greg Millen was announced this morning. All right, Norm in a combine who's feisty right now. You're gonna get the last word, Norm. Says, guys, it's hard to make Cadillacs with old Edsel parts. And Norm added, piss poor management. They signed all those guys, and I really hope Kane can come and help. Not sure if he will be any good to start. 2 years of very little play. Keep expectations low. This injury parade is showing that the team is dependent on the big guns. Yeah, and you know what? All great teams who have the big guns are going to be dependent on the big guns, this team included. But feisty Norm, I like it. I like it a lot. Yes, management, a lot of questionable moves. No bueno. People asking for Kenny Holland to come back.
Oh, boy. When everybody wanted him out.
Wanted him out the door. Anyway, the Oilers lose 3-2 to the Anaheim Ducks. They'll look to bounce back. It's not going to be easy against the red-hot St. Louis Blues team, which lost tonight 3-1 in Winnipeg. The Oil, will they get some bodies back Wednesday? We'll see. They have a travel day tomorrow, so they're staying in Anaheim. We won't get any updates from them. That's going to do it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show for Shawn, Belle, and Hernan, the Latino Heat Salas. I'm Tom Gazzola saying have a great night. Thanks for staying up with us. The boys will be ready to go in 5 hours and 39 minutes with the Nielsen Show and Lieutenant Eric. Ciao.